Welcome to the Bible Knowledge Quiz channel. We've got 40 challenging questions to test your Bible knowledge. Hit subscribe and like to support us. After the quiz, comment your score. Let's dive in and embark on this biblical journey together. Who was the brother of Moses and served as his spokesperson due to Moses' speech impediment? Aaron. Which prophet saw a vision of a valley of dry bones coming to life in the book of Ezekiel? Ezekiel. Who was known for his wisdom and is credited with writing many proverbs in the Bible? Solomon. In the New Testament, who was a tax collector before becoming one of Jesus' 12 disciples? Matthew. Who was the woman who became a great leader and judge in Israel, as mentioned in the book of Judges? Deborah. Which disciple of Jesus is known for doubting the resurrection until he saw Jesus' wounds? Thomas. Who was the youngest son of Jesse and the future king of Israel, known for defeating Goliath? David. In the book of Genesis, who was the wife of Isaac and the mother of Jacob and Esau? Rebekah. Which prophet was known for his confrontation with the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel? Elijah. Who was the woman at the well with whom Jesus had a conversation about living water? Samaritan woman. In the book of Daniel, who survived the lion's den due to his faith in God? Daniel. Who was the high priest who questioned Jesus during his trial before the Sanhedrin? Caiaphas. In the book of Exodus, who led the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt? Moses. Who was the wife of King Ahasuerus and is known for her courage in saving the Jewish people? Esther. In the New Testament, who was a tent maker and a companion of the Apostle Paul? Aquila. Who was the prophetess who praised God when she saw the infant Jesus at the temple in Jerusalem? Anna. In the book of Genesis, who was the first man created by God? Adam. Who was the king of Israel famous for his wisdom and building the temple in Jerusalem? Solomon. In the New Testament, who was a Pharisee and a member of the Sanhedrin, but later became a follower of Jesus? Nicodemus. Who was the prophet who anointed both Saul and David as kings of Israel? Samuel. In the book of Judges, who was a strong judge known for his long hair, which gave him strength? Samson. Who was the mother of John the Baptist and a relative of Mary, the mother of Jesus? Elizabeth. In the New Testament, who was a wealthy woman who provided financial support to Jesus and his disciples? Joanna. Who was the prophet who foretold the coming of the Messiah and baptized Jesus in the Jordan River? John the Baptist. In the book of Genesis, who was the wife of Abraham and the mother of Isaac? Sarah. Who was the Roman centurion who showed great faith in Jesus, leading to the healing of his servant? Centurion. In the New Testament, who was a disciple and companion of the Apostle Paul during his missionary journeys? Timothy. Who was the Pharisee and member of the Sanhedrin, who later became an influential Christian missionary? Paul. In the book of Exodus, who was the sister of Moses and Miriam? Zipporah. Who was the king of Babylon known for his pride and was humbled by God, as mentioned in the book of Daniel? Nebuchadnezzar. In the New Testament, who was a Pharisee and a tent maker, and a close associate of the Apostle Paul? Aquila. Who was the disciple of Jesus, who betrayed him for 30 pieces of silver? Judas Iscariot. In the book of Genesis, who was the second son of Adam and Eve, known for his rivalry with his brother Abel? Cain. Who was the Old Testament figure who survived being swallowed by a large fish? Jonah. In the New Testament, who was a deacon and the first Christian martyr who was stoned to death? Stephen. Who was the king of Persia, who allowed the Jews to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple? Cyrus. In the book of Genesis, who was the son of Abraham and Sarah, and the father of Jacob and Esau? Isaac. Who was the prophet who led the Israelites into the Promised Land after the death of Moses? Joshua. In the New Testament, who was a wealthy woman who hosted Jesus in her home and had a sister named Mary? Martha. Who was the disciple known for his skepticism and initial disbelief in Jesus' resurrection? Thomas.